Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to another Nerd Nation stream. We are talking about the MCU finally after God knows fucking how long. And this particular show is the first series of the MCU. It's on Disney Plus. It's called WandaVision, and we're talking episode 1 and episode 2. Now, before we start talking about these episodes in detail, I just want to get my friend's thoughts, cousin Cheeto, who I forgot to introduce. I do apologize. Sorry, mate.
Oh, it's okay.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm super excited now that the MCU is back. You know me. I am a Marvel mark. And although I do love other forms of comic book mediums, Marvel's my sugar daddy. And so I don't know. I'm glad to have it back in
Well, tell me.
general.
So, before I give you my initial thoughts of the first two episodes, and before we start talking in detail about these episodes, what's your initial thoughts about these first two episodes?
Overall,
Yes.
um when all the excitement dies down, it feels like these are two filler episodes.
Filler, huh?
Filler. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it is inappropriate, and I don't even think they're bad episodes per se.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. They just felt very filler like. Like, okay, like I feel like we could have knocked some of this stuff out in the first episode if they made it like 35 minutes. Like the talent show thing went on way too long. And although it was entertaining, and I know we'll get into details, it still was like I feel like we could have gotten through a lot of this without. And maybe I'm just used to the MCU moving at a movie's pace, which is a much quicker. Like if this were a movie, you know that we would be moving through the decades within 15 minutes apiece. So I get it. I'm not saying that these episodes were bad. I'm not saying that I hated them. I'm just saying like they felt very filler like. But
Was it
that's
what
my
you
initial thoughts on these two episodes.
was it what you were expecting?
It was exactly what I was expecting, but that's only because I watched all the trailers and all that other stuff. So I mean, I did that to myself. But at least I went in knowing that it was the first couple episodes were probably going to be filler.
Fair enough. Um, I want to say that I absolutely love this show. This was exactly what I was expecting. I knew what I was getting myself into prior to watching this. I wasn't surprised by how things panned out. Um, this show wasn't parodying its settings; it was paying homage to it. You could see it with the first episodes and the sort of Dick Van Dyke Show sort of style, and the second episode with the Bewitched and I Dream of a Genie style. It was paying amazing homage to it, and the sort of type of comedy. And sometimes I got lost in what I was watching, and I forgot that I was watching um, a WandaVision show. Because it was so well done. And but then but you always knew there was an underlayer of darkness amongst all of this, and it was bubbling under the surface to a degree. And it was really well done. I liked it. It had it had vibes of like Twilight Zone and stuff like that. I'm not sure if you know where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I know with the later episodes, I feel we're going to get the vibes of like X-Files and stuff like that, which is going to be pretty interesting. But I'm going to start talking about the episode now, unless you've got more to say.
Only that I agree with you on episodes 1 and 2. That kind of when you said that, I mean, I do feel that I did get lost in the episode sometimes. As I said, I mean, I didn't hate the episodes. I didn't even think they were bad. I just felt they were fillery. And you're right. I got lost in the episodes sometimes. But then when I came back to realizing that this was an MCU show is when I started realizing that it felt very fillery. So,
Well, like I said, what you're saying is filler. I did feel like we're in the first episode of the new show. We're thrown straight into this. Like there's no understanding of how they even fucking got there. We're just starting off with them just driving down and stuff like that.
but I feel like a lot of this stuff could have been taken. Like a lot of the stuff they gave us 2 episodes because they could have handled a lot of this stuff in one episode in episode 1.
You know what? You do have a good point there, but I think they need at the same time, these callbacks and maybe understanding what's going on here. having this additional bit of padding, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I think it's good. It's good filler for character development.
And
Because
as I said, I don't
yeah,
disagree with you on that at all.
yeah.
As I said, I'm not arguing a point that it's bad or it's. I'm just saying that's how I felt initially watching these 2 episodes. So as I said, I mean, maybe I have only watched it once. I know you've watched it more than once, but yeah, as I said, I'm not saying that these episodes were bad at all.
Okay, well, let's just start talking about the
Mhm.
episode. So we start off with this sort of Dick Van Dyke sort of style of comedy with this first one, and it's pretty much like both episodes. They pretty much go full on with the undercurrent of something's not right, being slightly intertwined in both episodes, but mainly they go full on with the sitcom style. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As
Yeah,
I said, I got
yeah,
lost and sometimes I forgot what I was watching
yeah,
because it
yeah,
was so
yeah.
sitcom-y.
Yeah, no problem. So, when they arrive, Wanda and Vision, they just got married. I like the way Vision walked through the door. He's able to walk through solid objects. He walks through the door, and leads uh, Wanda behind, and and then we see them in the kitchen, and they're looking at the calendar, and the date's marked for August the 23rd, which I believe is that particular day. But they can't remember what's going on, and they don't understand what the occasion is. And that's when you already immediately feel that even though they're trying to put a smile on everything, something's not right. Um, we get to meet Agnes now as well. She knocks on the door, and she's asking questions about their relationship, and we then jump to Vision's work, but Vision's gone to work and he's able to change his appearance. And you see him working really fast, and you hear yakety yak on the radio, and that comes into play a little bit later. And then Vision's wondering what the fuck he's doing at his job.
I know. I chuckled at that too. I'm like, he's like, what exactly do we do here? Oh, we compute. Compute what? Like, it's so great.
And I think my favorite part of that little scene was his mate telling him, "You know what? You're so efficient. You're like a walking computer." That made me laugh so much because that's exactly what he is.
You know what? You know what I would have loved to have seen in this? A small little nod to like Agent Carter, and like if they had Sousa like show up like as the coworker or something like that. I mean, I know he's on Agents of Shield and all that in the last season, but it would have been. I feel like it would have been a nice nod.
I actually forgot who that person is. I haven't
The
seen the
guy
show.
with the crutch.
Okay. Well, we get to meet Vision's boss, and I'm just going to call him Boss, but I forget his name. And he's looking forward to having dinner with Vision, and that's what the date was on the calendar. So all of this, just like this initial beginning, Bob. I mean, how did you take all of this? Seeing Vision coming in, just getting married to Wanda, and meeting Agnes, and going to work, all this shit, the boss.
I mean, it was fine. Like it was, as I said, this is pretty much the point where I kind of got lost. Like when Vision's face kind of changed to Paul Bettany, and that's kind of where I got lost in the whole sitcominess of it all.
Fair enough. Well, I was wondering. Okay, this is interesting. I wonder how far they're going to go with this. At the same time, but I was getting lost in it. But like I said, they went with pretty much the whole episode. But after those scenes, we then cut to commercial. It's commercial time, and we get to see a toaster. And
Dark Industries.
yes, yeah, I was going to mention that because before we get to know it, Stark introduced these toasters. The second time of watching this, I heard the pew sound of Iron Man. You know when he shoots his things out, you go pew.
Oh,
Yeah,
his
that's
repulsors.
yeah, but you
Oh, I
hear it
didn't hear that.
very subtly when
Hmm.
she puts the toast in the toaster. Yeah. And then she presses down on the toaster, and we see the little red light flashing. The first bit of color we see um, in this, and then we find out the toaster is being made by Stark Industry. More mystery, more what the fuck, more craziness, But it's easier to put all these pieces together because we've had so much MCU shit in the past, and we've devoured it. That like coming into a show like this with all this bizarreness, it leaves us on a better footing than if this thing started from scratch like it is. If you know what I mean, if something totally different, which is not MCU, just was this. we probably wouldn't appreciate it as much because it is MCU. You know what I mean? So, what did you think of that? All of that bullshit.
I mean, it was fun. I mean, when they said it was the Stark Industries toaster, I'm like, all right. But this was one of those moments that reminded me that this was an MCU thing. Like this is one of those moments that went into it, and I'm like, oh, I kind of wish they would get. And as I said, I'm not like hungry for like action. I'm just hungry for like substance.
No, but is this Sword or Shield trying to get into Wanda? Because we get the opposite a little bit later in episode 2, and with another commercial, which I'll bring up later. But is this them trying to get? Because is Wanda imagining this? Is making this up? I mean, where is she when this is fucking happening? You know what
Well,
I mean?
there was a moment where, and I don't know what episode it was in, but they were saying, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" And it's like, so either she's doing this on her own, or they think someone is doing this to her, or someone is doing it to her. There's too many mysteries right now. I mean, no,
I
that.
love it. I love it though. I love
Hmm.
this is the sort of mystery I fucking love. But you know the answers will come eventually,
Hmm.
or maybe they'll get filled up in multiverse of madness. Who knows? But now we get back to the WandaVision show, and we're with the boss and wife have come for dinner, and we get a lot of 1950s sitcom hijinks here. Wanda's trying to cook, um, but she has nothing to cook, and she comes out and oh, sorry, I apologize, I'm jumping way ahead. She she comes out and she puts her hands behind her husband's eyes. Sorry, not
Because
her,
she
her
thinks it's
boss's
like
eyes.
an anniversary, and so she's
Yeah,
in some like 50s lingerie, which is not lingerie at all.
exactly. And I have to admit, I've never found Elizabeth Olsen that attractive. But I have to admit, I found my eyes very hard to not look at her because she looked gorgeous in this show today, man.
I thought, yeah, in
Yeah,
episode
she looked
2, I was
absolutely
kind of like,
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Um, she's a great actress as well. Uh, really good. Her and Paul Bettany, I think they knocked it out of the park in
oh
both of them.
yeah, no, and acting in these episodes, I mean, just up front, acting in these episodes was fantastic. I totally
Fantastic
forgot that they're modern actors. As I said, I felt like at points I was watching a 50s, 60s sitcom.
with the exaggeration and all that
Yeah,
sort of shit. So after by the way, because she put her hands over the eyes and did that sort of greeting because she's European, she's Sokovian and stuff like that.
I love when he's like, "Oh, it's the Covian." It's
Then you know what? This was the best time to kind of address the accent change because within a couple of films, she's gone from fucking Eastern European to American, and they could have easily addressed that with amongst those lines and stuff like that. That was a good opportunity. I think they missed a trick there.
like,
Um, Nevertheless, you can't give him everything. There was a part in this when she's doing all her cooking and stuff, and after the yakety yak joke, in my opinion, was okay. It was good. The homage of it was really funny. I found that more cool than the actual joke itself. The way it was paying homage to the sort of humor it would do in those sort of comedies, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean this part of the episode was really, this is where I really felt the slog. As I said, I really felt like this part, and I get it. They were going for a whole episode in the 50s sitcom, but I feel like this is the moment where it started to drag, and I mean, as I said, I'm going to be critical on my MCU because, but I feel like that this part right here was just dragged on for so
What
long.
these
The
bloody
playing the
plates?
guitar.
No, but she had the plates flying in the sky and stuff, so she had, Vision had to like, get her attention.
I
And
mean,
also the bit where he was doing Old MacDonald had a farm and he looked at his boss and said, "Pig." It's always pig, as the first animal, always. And so you're looking at his boss, who's a fat bastard. I laughed so much. Come on, that must have got you, no?
no, not really.
No,
I mean, I
okay.
noticed it, but I was like, okay. Yeah.
So these guys, they're really hungry, and eventually, after fucking up so many times, Wanda finally creates breakfast for dinner, and they
Which
go
I
in.
love, by the way. I am a very big advocate of breakfast for dinner because
I
I'm
don't,
not a morning person. So I don't eat breakfast a lot unless I'm working. So when I can have breakfast for dinner, I love it.
I don't mind, but if I was going to somebody's house for dinner, I think I might be a bit thrown off by that.
I agree.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's definitely not a house guest meal, but
Yeah. So, but I'm happy to cook myself bacon and sausages and eggs and all that sort of shit. So for dinner, any day of the week, if I'm cooking for myself. Um, whilst they're having their food, the the boss and his wife are asking more questions about Vision and Wonder, and then because like this world feels relatively new, just recently developed because things are just starting. Not all the sort of smaller minor details have been filled in yet, and so when they start getting asked questions about their lives and their past, they haven't got an answer for it. And the boss starts demanding, and he starts whacking the table and shit. And after eating some food, he starts choking, and then his wife goes.
good.
The wife goes, stop it, isn't it? She says she doesn't say help him. She says stop it. What? And then I think at one point she says, "Wanda, stop it." I think at one point, um, she in
I
the
don't know
way
if she
she.
says Wanda stop it, but she definitely looks. The wife looks at her and says, "Stop it, stop it."
See, I want to make something very clear. I feel, in my opinion, that everyone in this world is real except for Vision. I think
Okay.
everyone is, like we see Monica Rambeau in the next episode. So I feel everyone, and like, that woman Dottie, she feels there's something not, the blonde woman, like, the Stepford wife. She looks like this. She acts like there's something not going right here. So I feel everyone apart from Vision is real. And so when she's going out, like, she's now breaking character a little bit to save her husband, that woman, and that's why she's saying, "Wanda, stop it." There's that Twilight Zone thing about people being trapped in character but still trying to break out and stuff like that, and that's what I saw there. And eventually, Vision does his thing, with the phasing to get the thing out of him. And then they leave. Like when he looks at his watch, he goes, "Oh, look at the time." Like nothing had happened. I mean, that was kind of a traumatic moment. He almost died.
So, do you think that this is like a Truman Show situation where someone is holding her hostage in this reality,
No, 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 no.
or do
I
you think
mean,
she's doing it on her own?
who WandaVision?
Yeah.
Sorry. Wanda is Wanda. I don't know yet. Honestly, I haven't. It's really hard to tell what the hell's
I mean,
going
that's
on.
fair enough. I just was curious if you had.
I haven't speculated on that yet. I feel like I need a few more crumbs to really get an idea. But I don't feel she's being held hostage. If she is, then well done. But I don't feel she's being held hostage. That's for sure. Um, from what we've got from past incarnations of this, um, it's never really been like that. It's always been of her making. When it comes to these sort of universes and stuff. But they leave. Um, and the lobster's on the door, and she goes, "Oh, what a wonderful door knocker!" Come on, that was fucking funny. And we then get to see them sitting on their chairs, and they're talking about their lives a bit. The married couple, but they haven't got rings. Some of the little minor details Wanda forgot about, so they give them rings, and then they give each other a kiss. And then as it fades out, we see a 50s television and a little sword pamphlet or something like that on the table, and somebody jotting down or writing or stuff like that. What's going on? And that was the end of episode 1. So before we go into episode 2, what the hell? What do you think of all of that?
As I said before, the dinner sequence dragged on too long. I felt like the pre-dinner dinner was, I mean, okay. I mean, they didn't waste too much time on that. After they left, they just immediately went and sat down on the table, did the 50s sitcom thing. We're like, we are an odd couple. And he's like, yes, we are, or whatever.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that out. Yeah, we are a couple. Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's just like, it's your typical sitcom-y stuff. And then, but the interesting part was when they pan out and it's, that you see the sword information and stuff like that. I'll be very interested to find out how sword plays in, because I know that sword's in it, but they're also saying that Nick Fury is on the sword station. So is sword the new shield? Is sword what it is in the comics, which is like the space version of shield? I'm very interested to find out
I just
what.
feel. I just feel that this sort of shit would be more dealt with by Shield than Sword.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, Sword
Yeah,
is more of a space-based organization.
yeah. I don't
But I
know.
think Sword, I think they said Sword means something different in the MCU. It's like oh, I have to look it up. But it's like it's basically them
Yeah, yeah.
dealing with
It is different. It is
it,
different in the MCU. You're right.
yeah, it's like sentient weapons of an R&D. I don't know, of
The D
something
is
destruction.
division.
Huh?
The D is division. I remember that.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna
Yeah,
look it up.
no,
You keep
definitely that.
going, but I know Sword is not. I feel like they're kind of rebranding Sword in the MCU to not just be a space-based shield. They're actually making it something that's like, like that. It's kind of like oh gosh, what were they called in X-Men? That kind of harbor, like that kind of took care, like that kind of investigated mutant stuff. I don't remember what it's called. It wasn't the Sentinels or anything like that, but there was an organization in X-Men that really like kept track of and like ice for mutants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
know what you mean. I know what you mean. I can't remember either,
but I'm
but
guessing that's what Sword is going to be now for like, super powered people.
I thought Shield was that for superpowered people.
Oh, but keep in mind, Shield's tech, well, except for Agents of Shield, which I don't consider that really
I mean, as far
canon
as they're
anymore.
concerned, as far as they're concerned, they're not dealing with an alien here. I know the Infinity Stones to do with alien shit, but they don't even know Vision's alive. They don't even. I mean, that's not even fucking Vision. That's an imagination. Well, as far as I'm concerned,
Well,
you
but
know,
keep in mind, if she's using reality warping, technically that could be the new Vision.
that's as Vision as she can make him. But that anyway, we'll find out.
Yeah.
So we're on to episode 2 now. And Wanda wakes up and there's a strange noise scaring them both. And this is all playing for stupid laughs and stuff like that. Wanda, for some reason, Wanda brings their beds together. And then when you look outside and she investigates the noise after Vision's being scared of it for some reason. I don't know why the hell Vision would be scared of a tree branch or
Because he's
anything.
playing a part.
Yeah, I know, but it just feels a bit weird. And they find out, and then they find out what the noise is, and it is a tree branch. You could tell it was a tree branch before it was revealed that it was a tree branch. I just don't get it. That's what I was saying. It was a tree. Oh, it was a tree branch. Oh, they haven't revealed it for some reason, but even though you can see it. Anyway, once they reveal it's a tree branch, and the beds are put together, Vision gets horny, and they get it on. Vision gets horny a lot in this, by the way. He gets proper horny. He goes, "What are you wearing?" And all that sort of shit. Like, "What are you wearing?" Like,
Well, I
weird.
mean, maybe that's how Wanda made him. She's like, I need
Yeah, I
my
agree.
Vision to have a sex drive.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Just
And
just before you get started, it stands for a Sentient Weapon Observation and Response Division.
I was right about the division.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely like it's almost like Shield, but for superpowers. Where
Yeah, fair enough.
it's like the new Shield, pretty much.
See, I just don't like the name of a called Sword. Shield sounds cool,
I
but
like Shield.
Sword,
I think that's a great name.
yeah, but Sword sounds stupid. Um. Anyways, so we get the Bewitch intro or the I Dream of a Genie intro. It's a bit of both, isn't it?
Mhm.
Which is pretty cool. Did you like the animation for that?
I did. I thought it was cute.
Because it's not the only animation we get in this episode. We get a little
Oh
bit
no,
more.
it's not.
Yeah. So this is actually a really good episode. I mean, pilot episodes like the first episode, they tend to be the bedding in episode, and it's very hard to get much out of it. But this episode are full on. They're practicing a magic trick, and it's kind of funny how they're doing it. And they're doing this for a fundraiser for the children,
For the
of course.
children.
And later, and then I think Vision fucks off, and then later Wanda hears a noise and goes outside to investigate, and she sees a toy helicopter, and it's in color, in the Iron Man colors, but it's got a little sword logo on it.
Mhm.
What do you think of that? When you see,
I thought, I mean, it was interesting. I was trying to figure out why the helicopter got small and like why there weren't little people trying to crawl out of it. I mean, why did it turn into a toy? Like, I mean,
yeah,
I feel like there should have been, and maybe there will be an answer for this in later episodes, but like I feel like this is something that maybe should have been addressed in the background. Maybe we see
I
it.
know. I love the fact that we're still getting more shit. Sometimes getting a ton of mystery before stuff gets revealed is pretty interesting. I mean, it could be done right. It could be done wrong, like the show Lost, which gave us more and more fucking shit to figure out before they even answered anything. But I don't mind at the moment because we've only got 9 episodes. I don't mind some more of these shenanigans and more what up fuckeries. Because it's confusing, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so much. No, not
What?
getting like seeing the helicopter, for instance. It's a confusing little thing. There's all types of things making me wonder, and hearing other people's theories. I never even considered those ideas of maybe somebody flying in there with a helicopter and it's been shrunk.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, is that, that's obviously from the outside. What, like, is it something that it hit whatever barrier Wanda's got up and she just turned it in, like her natural defenses turned it into the toy helicopter, or is it,
God,
that's
she's
what I'm
got some
saying.
amazing defenses, man. She is super powerful.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's some kind of barrier because we've seen it in the trailer that there's some kind of barrier that Monica Rambeau flies through. And there's other stuff.
Well, like I said, it was in color as well, which was unusual. I mean, we're still watching.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you real. It reminds you that you're watching a black and white world when you see the color in it. Agnes arrives and she brings a rabbit. This is for the magic trick. She even used the rabbit for baby Jesus, and then they go to meet Dottie for some housewife get together for the charity. And we also get to meet Geraldine, who is also known as Monica Rambeau. And this made me realize that the people in this world are probably real people.
I didn't catch that was that would be Monica Rambeau.
That's Monica Rambeau, 100%.
I didn't realize that was the actress playing Monica Rambeau. Like, I mean, because they didn't call her Monica,
That's
Geraldine or whatever.
I had to look into it, and obviously from other sources and reviews and stuff
Zam,
like
you
that.
did research?
I always do research, dude.
Holy shit!
It's more to me than you realize.
More than you
anyways,
a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, I was about to say meet the eye, but you can't see him. Anyways, let me quickly get back to my notes here. So we meet Monica Rambeau and Monica actually initially she's a little bit confused herself. She's going by the name Geraldine, and she's a bit nervy and stuff like that. I mean, she is a black woman in 50s white America, so I can totally understand that, But sorry for the silly bad taste joke, but jokes
I mean,
aside,
it's true though. I mean,
no,
you never.
this is Vision's. This is Wanda's world. This is not that's not going to play like racism will not play a part in any of this.
Yes, because she's European and she's cultured. But no, you're right. That's what I mean. Like, she's a little confused as to why she's there. And it was a little, because you're sitting there and you think about it and it's like, besides Native Americans, I mean, how many dark-skinned people do you see in old black and white TV? I mean, I don't see a ton of them. So, I mean, you're right. It's like kind of like even the audience is probably like, wait a minute, something's not right. So, which is fine nowadays, but I'm just saying, like, that is another like little variance from like the sitcom-y 60s, television show type thing.
Well, we then quickly cut to Vision, and he's going to the neighborhood watch meeting by some of his workmates. He's not necessarily welcome there, but he makes himself there anyway, but he wants to be there, and I like that. He reminds me of Data at times with emotions.
Yeah,
it's like Data with
Data
emotions.
with the emotion chip. Yeah.
No, not with the emotion chip. Data with emotions is a bit different because there's a bit of character. I mean, like Data's got character as well, but there's a bit of humanity in personality with Vision. Data straight up robot, but Vision, he's got things about him that shows there's a human characteristic because I don't know, it's hard to explain. I'm not sure if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. I smell what the Zam is cooking.
Thanks very much. He makes a joke. he makes a joke about mastication. So he makes a comment about mastication when it comes to chewing gum. God, that made me laugh, considering some of the jokes we had about Ginger Greek. He's either masticating or masturbating, if he's not hibernating. and
And then I love the one dude who's like, I don't do that. Now that part made me laugh.
Yeah, it really did. But he then calls his mate a communist. I don't know why he did that, by the way, because he wasn't joking.
I think it's because, I mean, it's 60s. So, I mean, the Cold War is in full swing. And I mean,
But why did he say that, though? Like, his mate, if he's not a communist and his mate doesn't think himself as a communist and doesn't feel like he's been outed.
I wonder if when we get further in the season, I wonder if we're going to find out that character outside of there is like a Russian.
Hydra, or maybe. No, not
I don't know
Hydra.
about Hydra. But now Hydra's kind of
Not
gone.
No, Hydra's not communist either.
Yeah. But I feel like they're probably he'll be he looks like with the big mustache and everything. I mean, I would say maybe like Russia, like he might be Russian, he might be, I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Well, he gets after making that comment, they all think he's a good laugh, but they thought that communist comment was a joke, and then whilst Vision is experimenting with chewing gum because he doesn't eat, even though he did drink some wine in the last episode. Yeah, did you notice that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I could have sworn he's eaten something before. Maybe not on screen.
No. But they had a toast at the end of the last episode, and I saw him drink the wine, and I thought to myself, "What the hell? That was a bit weird." I almost feel that's like maybe because in the day he is a creation of. He's not the real Vision. Well, as far as I'm concerned, he's not the real Vision.
But I mean, like Data, like even Data said in Next Generation, like he does have like.
Yeah, but that's Data.
No, but I know, but I'm just saying, like he probably has some kind of way. But I mean, when you chew gum and you swallow it, like what happens? It gets stuck in your intestinal tract for years.
And I like the way they visualize the gum going into his body and it clogging up his gears. That was pretty cool.
It was fine.
I liked it. Sometimes you need a quick visualization of what's going on, to really truly understand how that gum has fucked him up. Because him swallowing it, going, ooh, 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 you think to yourself, what the hell's going on? But you see that his mechanics has been stuck.
I just want to know why the gears getting slowed up made him drunk. That's
I don't know, but I'm just accepting it because it's fucking fiction. So that's how I look at it. We cut back to Wanda, and she's with Dottie, and they're talking about the upcoming charity and stuff like that. And then she starts hearing her name being sung through the radio. And let me remind myself what this person said. And this person says, Wanda, who's doing this to you? And then Dottie's saying, what's happening? Who's this? Who are you? She says that to Wanda, breaks the glass, cuts her hand, and we see red blood through the black and white. What do you think of all of that?
I mean, it just shows more like, that's when I realized that she was probably a real person, not like an illusion or anything like that, was because of the red blood. Because they're trying to convey the fact that, look, there are real people in this environment. And like, so like when you see like the red blood on somebody, when you see like the first clue, they set it up early in the episode with the helicopter, that real life stuff is in color, anything that's not supposed to be there, something like that.
Yeah,
not supposed to be there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, yeah, I get what you mean there. Yeah. So we cut to another commercial, and this time there's only two things a woman wants from his man. Sorry, a man wants in his life. He wants a fine ass woman and a Baron von Struckhammer Hydra 1,000-meter depth watch.
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra, motherfuckers. And this made me start to think to myself, okay, is there two factions now trying to get to Wanda? We've got, in the first episode, with Stark, and now we've got Hydra. Yeah, two opposing sides here, for sure. What did you think of that? With the
I mean, I
Hydra
don't think
one?
it was two opposing sides. I think it was a gentle nod. I mean, you might be right,
No,
but
there's more to it than a nod. There's way look. You have in the first episode with the toaster, and now you got
God, I
this.
hope it's not Hydra. I'm so done with Hydra. Give me some aim. There's
No,
other
no,
organizations out there
look,
except Hydra.
it's more to do with. I don't think it's that straightforward. I think it's the fact that she was recruited by Hydra, so there's a link there. She was with Hydra before she moved on to being with Ultron. Before she moved on to being with the Avengers, she started off with them. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. I'm just saying, like, but I don't think Stark Industries. I mean, I don't know how that equates to Sword, and I don't know why Stark Industries would be a part of that whole
Because she's
thing.
probably more familiar with them than she is with Sword.
Probably.
But that was interesting though to see Hydra back in the MCU since, I mean, not since Ultron really have we seen Hydra. Am I correct?
Um, outside of Agents of Shield, yes.
Yeah.
No, Ant-Man. Hydra was in Ant-Man.
Was it?
Yeah, there was a guy that was from Hydra in Ant-Man.
Not memorable, mate.
I mean, there's always the mention of Hydra too. I mean, Captain America Civil War had mention of Hydra. And so they've been mentioned numerous times, but I mean, since probably like Infinity War, everything, probably nothing's been mentioned.
Infinity War.
I don't
That's
think there
bloody
was any
weird.
mention in Infinity War, and I'm talking Earth-based MCU.
Okay, okay.
Maybe Black Panther. I don't think there was any mention in Black Panther of
Well,
it.
we get to my favorite part of the episode, which is the magic trick part of the episode where they have to do their performance in
Mhm.
front of all the people for this charity event. Um, and Vision arrives acting drunk. And he tries to do, but they're still trying to do the performance, and obviously Wanda's bricking it as well. They call themselves Glamour and Illusion. Did you like that?
It was fine.
And what I found really cool about this is that Vision is basically so fucked up that he's giving away that they've got superpowers. And Wanda's using her magic and her superpowers to make it look like what they're doing is fake. It was brilliant. Oh shit. Vision's flying. Let me just quickly put a rope over there. Now it looks like he's hanging. Oh shit, he's lifting up the piano. Let me turn it into a two-dimensional thing. And that guy goes, "That's my mother's piano." I laugh so much. Sorry. And then like he puts the hat. He says, I need that rabbit. I need to pull a hat out of it," which is hilarious. And then because there's no rabbit, he decides to put the hat through his body.
Yeah, pull
And
himself out of a hat or something
yeah,
like that. And
yeah, and then like the people are wondering what the fuck. So Wanda just said, what? Look, mirrors.
yeah, I know. Well, and somebody in the crowd's like, I don't think that's how mirrors work.
Yeah, Dottie says, "Shut up." That was so genius.
That reminded me of, you ever watch Superstore, the show Superstore?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that reminded me of Cindy. I don't know. It's one chick that everybody's just kind of like, she actually makes a little bit of sense every now and then, and they're all like, and then they're just being like, no, that makes no sense, but she actually does make sense anyway. And they don't care or whatever, they don't listen to her or whatever. But anyway,
Well,
it's a very super moment.
they're like, funny enough, unfortunately for them, like Vision's bizarre behavior, made his performance very enjoyable for the audience, and they laughed all the way through, and so they ended up winning the contest. Not surprised by that. I mean, they were running away. I mean, I'm sure they should have realized the reaction of everyone. They're all laughing and clapping, yet somehow they thought to themselves, "Oh shit, they hate us." A bit weird, huh?
They were all voting for Wanda's little onesie.
Yeah, well, she looked great in that. Um,
That is
then
true.
then they come back home. They just won, And next thing you know, Wanda has a baby bump. And then after that, they hear a noise and they go outside to investigate. And this geezer comes out of a manhole cover, and he opens it up, and he's wearing a beekeeper outfit with the sword logo on the back, by the way. Sword logo on the back. And he's surrounded by bees. And then Wanda just says no, like she has a realization that, you know what, I'm not going to have you fuck this up for me. That's when she says no and reverses time, goes back to the moment the baby bump's discovered, and they stay indoors. And next thing you know, color starts coming into and around them, which was a bit unusual. But if you ever seen I Dream of a Genie or Bewitched, no, sorry, Bewitched, my bad. If you ever seen Bewitched, that show started off in black and white and it ended in color. So it went through a transition. So to a degree, so did this, which was pretty cool if you know those little things. But you know, we get to see them in color. Wanda's wearing red. You know, Vision's wearing an outfit which is not a superhero outfit, but it's kind of color coordinated to him to a degree.
It's a
And
sweater.
yeah, but if you look at it, there's more to it. Just by if you look into the finer details, you can see it's trying to represent his superhero outfit. Wanda's wearing all red. That's her colors. Red is her color. But I had no idea she was wearing red until it went to color. You know, she could have been wearing anything, you know, with that outfit.
Well, did you know that Paul Bettany's actually during the black and white episodes, Paul Bettany's face was blue because it showed up better on the black and white camera.
Yeah. I'm
So
not
actually
surprised.
around the set, if you looked at Paul Bettany when they're filming the black and white stuff, he was covered in blue, not red.
Interesting.
But we didn't
So,
know because it was black. And if they would have never told us, I'm pretty sure we never would have known.
well, before the episode ends, we hear the radio voice coming out again, and it says, "Who's doing this to you?" And as it drags out, and Wanda and Vision are kissing, we see a hexagonal symbol they're in as it drags out, and it made me start to think to myself, I think the symbol of the hexagon might play a part because we saw the beekeeper coming out earlier, and bee honeycombs are hexagon. You know, there's something there. I swear, there's something there to that. You know, and
Okay. I mean, AIM likes to use hexagons, or is it Hive? Might be Hive from DC. I don't remember.
but can you make sense of the beekeeper before
Mm-mm.
we you make any sense of that?
Here's what
Apparently,
I'm guessing. I'm guessing that the guy coming out of the sewer was in a hazmat suit, but then when he entered into the reality, it was a beekeeper outfit because there were bees around him. Did you see the bees flying
yeah.
around
So
him?
yeah, I'm saying bees
So
around them.
I feel like when he entered Wanda's thing, I feel like he was probably in a hazmat suit, like a sword hazmat suit. But then when he went into the augmented reality, he, it changed him into a beekeeper just because everything's being changed in this reality. That was my thought.
Well, there's no surprise that Wanda ended up getting pregnant by the end of the episode because the theme of children and babies was a big part of this first two episodes. They were talking about babies a lot in the first one. They were trying to help kids in the second one. And next
For
thing
the
you know, she's
children.
yep, and next thing you know, she's having a baby herself. I mentioned the hexagons as well. Agnes, she's definitely the antagonist of this show, in my opinion. I'm feeling that. And that brooch, she wore a brooch. In the episode one, it was around the brooch was on a bow around her neck, and in episode two, the same brooch is on her chest. And I've also seen. I'm sorry for giving a spoiler away here. It's a minor one, but I've seen that same brooch on her in upcoming episodes. So I do feel that brooch is symbolic in some particular way. I think, well, obviously Monica Rambeau is the sword agent. Agnes is a Hydra agent.
I don't think so, only because Agnes is somebody else from the comic books that I know about.
Yeah, I know that too. I know. Can you bring it up again? But I know about that as well. But I'm not that familiar with it.
I mean, she's Agatha Harkness is more of a
Yeah,
Mystique character. Like in
yeah,
so I mean she's more magic
is
based.
yeah. I heard. I think it was from Emergency Awesome. He mentioned it because they might be hybriding some characters.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
could be.
because the beekeeper. I think he's a German-based villain in the MCU called the Swarm or something like that. And he's not a Nazi, but obviously because he's German-based, they could easily throw in a Hydra element in there quite easily and hybrid the character and make him more like that. If that's who the beekeeper is, even though the beekeeper was wearing a sword outfit or he had sword on the back of his, like I said, I'm just speculating right now. I have no idea, but you can tell with these shows they're having to use more fringe characters in the MCU, or sorry, in Marvel comics, less recognizable ones to fill out more shit, but at the same time keep true to Marvel comics at the same time. So, anyways, my money is on. She could be a magic-based character, and with the brooch thing always being the same, you definitely have something there. I'm still going with the Hydra agent.
I mean, they could be bringing Hydra back. I just hope to God not.
Well,
I'm done with Hydra.
they are
Hydra.
not busy bringing Hydra back. They have brought Hydra back because we saw it in that commercial. Hydra is back. However you want to look at it,
It could also
is
just be a nod, like you said. Like she was originally working for Hydra, so maybe it's a nod back to her past. Because
this is
Strucker's the one who created her. That's why it's
yeah,
called the Strucker
exactly.
Walk.
And I do feel there's more to it than meets the eye. I do feel Hydra is more than just that shelter at the beginning of Age of Ultron. Um,
No, but they had been going through and taking down Hydra bases. I mean, I get it. There's probably remnants of Hydra. You see remnants of Hydra in Civil War, but I mean, you might be right, and that's fine if you are. But I'm just kind of I want to see different
no,
organizations.
it's not just that. I don't want to nod. I don't want to nod. Like it makes no sense to have these. Like this is not like there's reasons for these things. Like having this commercial of Stark Enterprise toasters, having Baron Strucker's watches. There's more to it. I mean, like it wasn't like a subtle nod. They were detailed with it. Look at this fucking watch. It says Hydra on it. There's a Hydra symbol on it. Look at this fucking watch. They made sure that watch was there to be seen. It wasn't quick. It wasn't blink and you miss it sort of thing, which are the Easter eggs. You know what I mean? This was symbolic to the story. You understand?
Okay, I understand. I hope to God not. I don't want Hydra.
I want it to be, man. But
I'm
if you
done
can,
with Hydra.
no, look, now, no, I know you're done with Hydra, but now this has been introduced. I don't want it to be a nod or an Easter egg because there's no point in that. This has got to be different. You know what I
I'm
mean?
okay with it being with a nod, just because Strucker is the one who helped create her, and that's
Strucker's
why it
alive,
is a
yeah.
commercial.
Strucker's not dead. He gave up, yeah. Or did he die?
Ultron killed him in Age of Ultron.
Oh fuck, I can't remember. Yeah, man, my bad.
Yeah,
Sorry, I totally forgot.
I mean, unless he's not dead, which might be, but I mean, Strucker's got some weird ass magic hand thing that he's got in the comic books that keeps him young. Like he can steal people's youth with this glove or
Yeah, not
whatever.
it's like that Baron Strucker though. I mean, they've made him more basic in the MCU, in my
I know,
opinion.
but I'm just saying, like, but with this setup, I mean, who knows? With WandaVision and the multiverse and all that, who knows how the hell they're going to do that?
Now, for some bizarre reason, us mere mortals were only allowed 2 episodes, while lots of reviewers were allowed 3 episodes. I don't know what the fuck is up with that, but we won't know what's going on. And I think more will be revealed next episode, because I do agree with you to a degree, Bob, that they can't keep doing this every episode. They need to start now exposing stuff.
Mhm.
Considering we've only got 9 episodes and we'll be doing the third one. I think certain things need. I think more of a realization that shit is not what it seems, because at the moment these characters know that shit is not what it seems, but they don't want to acknowledge it, if you know what I mean.
Yep, I know what you mean.
So I'm wanting some acknowledgement now from the next episode. Now things are in color. Hopefully, we'll get more details, pun intended. And I can't wait. This is exactly what I wanted this show to be. This is exactly what I wanted from television shows. You can't do this sort of shit in a film. People won't appreciate it. This is not going. This type of storytelling, I know, will not be appreciated by a lot of MCU fans who just want bang, bang, bang and high kicks and explosions. You know, there was no action at all in any of these episodes, and I
Which
loved
is
it for
fine.
what.
I don't want I just feel like all of like I liked a lot of what we got. I'm just saying that a lot of this stuff could be done down to like one 35-minute
I'm
episode.
no, I disagree.
Okay.
I don't want things to necessarily be rushed. I love the slow pace
I'm
of
not the
things.
queen. You can disagree with me.
I'm just saying, you know, I like the slow pace of things. I like this approach, and I like things padded out, and so these extra paddings just means more things to pick up upon and more things to branch up off in future MCU projects. And so I don't mind all these additional bits of detail. I don't know how this is going to end, other than the fact I do feel it will end in tragedy. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I do, and I also feel that they're pulling an end game on us where they have only the majority of the footage that we have seen is only the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then like they haven't shown us anything from like the latter half of the season, so we're probably going to get blown away by the crap that happens in the last half of the season.
I'm
Because they
sorry for
say the first half of the season is where they do this decade jumping, and it's and they start slowly introducing what's going on, and then the second half is like an Avengers level event, is what they said. Now maybe they're just doing promotion and they're just building it up, but
maybe they're worried that people will think, "Oh shit, if it's all talk and no action, they're going to hate this." And
yeah,
I wouldn't, because I know I'm watching a psychological drama right now, which in the MCU, which doesn't have to be explosions. If you know your characters and you understand the mindset of the Scarlet Witch, then you should be devouring this sort of storytelling, because they're bringing a comic book to life. It's fantastic. I thoroughly enjoy it, and there's more to this to come. Obviously, we're going to see the outside world eventually. It's going to be exposed a lot more, because we've hardly seen any of it other than some guy jotting on a pad, looking at a 50s television. That's all we got. And why is it a 50s television? Why can't it be a regular television? You know. So the outside world, we're going to see that. Is it Grace from the 4 films?
oh,
Wasn't it
Darcy.
Darcy? And then we're going to see the cop from the Ant-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another person, isn't there? Oh, Monica
I say Monica
Rambeau's.
Rambeau, but other than that, that's
Yeah,
all I
Monica.
know.
Yeah, yeah. So always knew it'll be different, and I love that. I love that. You know, like it's reminding you that all these people are in the same universe, and I love that. You know, sort of like a mini crossover, and Vision and Wanda have never been the main event in the MCU. They are the supporting cast of the supporting cast to a degree, and to see these two supporting characters being the main characters is fucking fantastic. I love it. How about
I mean,
you?
don't get me wrong. I definitely like the fact that Wanda and Vision are getting. I mean, I feel that that Vision was unjustly just cut
Killed
out
off.
of Endgame. Like he was such an integral part of Infinity War, and for them not even to bring him back as either an AI again, or like either they repair him and he's just like the
He's
White
OP.
Vision.
If he's OP, and I mean they got a way of dealing with him though. Thanos is goon, so maybe he's not that OP. I don't know.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like I felt like that Vision was just ceremoniously discharged from the MCU come Endgame. And it's like, I mean, after Infinity War, like but there was no mention of Vision besides Scarlet Witch saying you took everything from me. That's it. Not even a mention of his name.
Paul
Vision
Bettany.
got more screen time in Spider-Man Far From Home in a picture on a slideshow than he did in Endgame. And that's one of the things that irked me about Endgame was because like they didn't bring Vision back as like, as I said, they could have repaired him and like, yeah, he would have just been like a computer. He would have been more like Commander Data, you know, but I mean, at least he would have been there. At least they would have acknowledged the fact that they lost that Avenger.
Well, Paul Bettany said that after Infinity War, he shook hands with everyone and said it's been a good run. And he was looking forward to, was hoping that, you know, after working in the MCU, he would get more work. And then the producers actually told him that they weren't finished with him yet. And he was so fucking happy because he thought, you know, once you're killed off, you're done. But he didn't realize he's in comic book world. Death is just the beginning, mate. It's not the end.
Yeah. As I said, I mean, it does kind of balance Vision out if they do repair him. And yeah, he doesn't have like
he's dead.
No, I meant like if they if they repair him and he comes back because he's still got all the.
You think that's the Vision body that was left lying in the dirt at the end of
Infinity War? And I mean they still like use the Jarvis AI in it because what Bruce Banner said is that there might be enough of Vision left after the Mind Stone is gone for him to still be Vision. I mean, yeah, did they damage it? Like, did they basically kill him by ripping the Mind Stone out of his heart? Okay, but it was 5.
Shuri, she made a backup.
What? Yeah, whatever. I mean,
remember in Infinity War, she was making a backup of him as well when they were at Wakanda.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like for Vision to ceremoniously just be discharged after Endgame, it's like that was one of the only things that I really hated about that movie was that Vision was not even mentioned, and the fact that he was so integral in part in Infinity War, but they didn't even give him a shout out or a mention or even his head in the glass jar in Endgame.
That would have been disrespectful.
I know, but I'm just saying, like anything's better than totally ignoring the fact that he existed.
I agree. To a degree. But
anyway, so I'm off that bandwagon.
But I'm happy that we still have Vision. But after this, I don't know if Vision's going to still be around after this, or will he? Because I personally think that this is it. I think this is the last we'll see of Vision, in my opinion. I don't think he's coming back. What about you?
I hope not. I like Vision. I like Paul Bettany.
I am with you on that. I love Paul Bettany. People says that he's not good at comedy. I don't know where they got that from. I think some of his best stuff has been his comedy work. But like, have you seen The Knight's Tale?
Yeah,
he's in that. He's in that. You know,
I liked him in that.
He's the sort of promoter guy. You know, and
yeah, isn't he the guy that keeps losing all his clothes and like when he owes people money and stuff?
You see him naked at the beginning and stuff like that. But he's also very good at like promoting. He's always speaking up, and he goes,
yeah, and he's being just very comedic. Yeah, no, I like Paul Bettany. I've liked him in a lot of the stuff I've seen him in. But I mean, no, I like Vision. I like Paul Bettany. This is one of the characters that I think really needs to stick around in the MCU. And I mean, you can change his character because he doesn't have the Mind Stone. I understand that, but I mean, I mean, as I said, I think after Endgame, Gamora should have stayed dead. I'm sorry, I feel like she should have stayed dead. I feel like I don't know who else came back in Endgame.
Nobody. Well,
Loki. I feel like Loki probably should have. I know we have the series and everything, but I feel like Loki should have stayed dead because I mean I get it. It's a different timeline. Loki, whatever. Okay, yeah, whatever. I didn't mind him showing up in an Endgame, but like now he's like got his own Disney Plus series, and I'm like, oh god, please stop. And I feel like honestly, I mean obviously Tony Stark needs to stay dead. You can't just have that kind of death and Black Widow. Like, I mean, they just need to stay dead because, and I mean, that's why the Black Widow movie is such a tragedy is because I wanted this movie, but they're just rolling back on her death. Like it's done. They ran over it and now they're backing up over it because
I agree, but this film will also set up the supporting cast for the Black Widow film in the Black Widow movie to be available in future MCU content. So
You mean? Oh, you mean the Black Widow? Okay, the cast of the Black Widow. I thought
yeah,
you meant in the WandaVision. I'm like, what are you
no,
talking?
the supporting cast of Black Widow
Gotcha.
are definitely being set up. I believe the lady who plays her sister and also
Yeah,
played
yeah.
Paige,
Yelena Belova. No, it.
she's definitely going to be in the MCU.
Oh, she is. But I'm not thrilled with all that either. I got my thought. I got my own thoughts on that. Um,
Because they
but
want because someone like a character like Black Widow. When I say she needs replacing, like there's a void there with Natasha dead, and that void needs to be filled by somebody.
there's plenty of
She's
characters. You don't need another Black Widow. Like that's almost a
yeah,
carbon
I agree,
copy of
I agree,
Natasha
but they're gonna.
Romanoff.
I
I mean,
agree, I agree, or 100% agree. But in my opinion, they wouldn't be bringing out this movie if they didn't want to eventually establish some of the
I
other
mean, they're
characters later
they're basically bridging. They're basically merging the Hawkeye and the Black Widow character together with Kate Bishop. You know what I mean? Like,
I personally always thought, like, this is another thing as well, like regarding WandaVision, I think one of the few people they need to bring in was Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye, for sure. If anybody had, of all the people remaining in Wanda's life who had a bond with her, it was him, who's still alive.
well, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know he's not going to show up towards the end.
Of all the characters in the MCU to come back, he would be the most important to me. To get to Wanda, because
Mhm.
I can't think of anybody else.
I mean, it could be like a whole Han Solo Ben Solo moment where like everything's on the line towards the end, and it's like Hawkeye shows up to say, if you want to make amends, get off your, like one of those speeches, like, and that's what gets her to turn around and win the day
Yeah,
or the
but
series, whatever you want to call it.
and I hope he's in it, because right now I think there's a miss, because everyone knows that she's going to be in Doctor Strange.
Well, who knows? Because right now they're filming Hawkeye, which has Jeremy Renner in it, and there's nothing saying that they can't take, like before they started filming that Hawkeye series, that they didn't take him aside to a side studio and film one scene of him and Wanda together, but
I agree.
having that moment,
I
or even
agree.
a couple.
This was made ages ago, so they could have
No, they
they
just
could
wrapped filming like 6 months ago, I think. So
yeah,
they could have, and Hawkeye's been
in that
filming
sense.
for at least a month. So I mean, they've had time to film an additional scene and then add it to the end of the season and do special effects and
No,
everything.
I agree. I agree. I'm saying there was time to put Jeremy Renner in this, and I just, he hasn't. Nobody even considered him being in this show. Funnily enough, which is kind of surprising. I think because at the time he was going through some bullshit. So, with his, regarding pointing a gun at his wife and shit like that. It's amazing that he's still working for Disney after all of that. But
No, we don't know. I've never heard if that's been substantiated or not. I
I
mean,
guess
people can talk shit and get bad press to celebrities all
I
the live
agree.
long day.
I agree. I agree. Um, Nevertheless, I feel that this show would be really good if he was in it. Do you agree?
I do.
I
I
think.
100% agree.
But anyway, I think we've dragged this out as much as possible. I'm going to give both of these both episodes. I'm going to give the first episode a 7, and I'll give this second episode an 8. I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. The pilot episodes are never really that good. It's all about just trying to even the following episodes after, even the whole season sometimes can never be that good, because it's always about setting the foundations and getting the groundwork in before you start growing and making things more interesting. But I thought the second episode really just kicked off and was very funny, and certain things were kind of spread out a little bit. So certain things were kind of exposed a little bit more, and they're still keeping things a mystery, and that's what I want. I want a good mystery in the MCU, and this is definitely delivering, and I love it. I love the different tone. I love the change of pace. I love the adult theme. as well. Is even this is not a stupid kids show. This is definitely an adult's show, and not in the sense of it being swear words and stuff like that, but it's a thinking person show. It's a show for people who've grown up reading comics for decades and watched the MCU for years. Been involved in superhero shit for a long time, the whole fucking life, and I can't wait for more. And with that, I'm done. How about yourself, Bob?
I would give these episodes. I'm going to give it a generous 6 out of 10.
Both episodes.
Both episodes, 6 out of 1. Episode 1 probably on the lower end. Episode 2 maybe on the higher end ish.
Yeah, but they're both 6.
Felt like these were filler. Like they weren't bad, but they just didn't really do much for me. Like
I just find it hard to understand what filler is when you got a pilot episode, and it's hard to. I can't really.
You haven't watched enough Dragon Ball Z to know what filler feels like, and I felt it all up and down this.
Hey, Dragon Ball Z, like you never knew when the bloody season was going to end.
No, but there's definitely such thing as filler, and you learn how to feel that out. And these definitely felt like filler.
For me, this was what you call filler. I call character building and world building.
I don't even think it's world building because it's its own bottle. Like, okay, if you want to say it's building Wanda's little world, but I don't feel like you're building any world outside of that.
Just being a part of it. I don't want to rush through this. I want to be.
I'm not saying I want to rush. I'm just saying that
I waited for this journey for a long time, and I'm happy to take my sweet ass time with it.
I'm just saying that this could be one episode.
Okay.
These 2 episodes could have been one episode, maybe like 40 to 45 minutes. You could have had this all in one episode.
We had the 50s in the first episode, 60s in the second. Now they've gone into the color. And
so they're going into the 70s next, and Paul Bettany's going to look like a swinger. And
but I like the way he went from black and white into color, because 60s really was the revolution of black and white to color during that decade.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they had films in color before that, rarely. But when it went full on color in television, it was in the 60s, and now we're into the 70s. Jesus Christ, Elizabeth Olsen looks so hot in some of her 70s outfits. She looks fucking gorgeous. It's amazing. I never thought she was attractive until I started seeing her in this. It's weird. She looks gorgeous, man, and she's way more successful than her sisters have ever been. It's amazing. Her sisters were so successful as kids, and she's killing it as an adult actress. It's amazing. Don't you find that weird?
No, I mean, the Olsens are actually pretty successful in their realm of fashion and yada yada. But I mean, I agree with you. I agree. But Elizabeth Olsen has done more with her life than the other ones have.
Once again, she's it's a bit like Chris Evans was a bit of a risky pick to play Captain America. We've got a fucking Olsen coming in playing Scarlet Witch, for fuck's sake, and she's proved herself to be a very credible actress. And
what you liked her? You liked her Sokovian accent in Age of Ultron?
I'm just saying that I'm starting to appreciate how good. I think I appreciated her more in Civil War, because she was kind of like the MacGuffin to a degree in Civil War, not a part of the MacGuffin, because a lot of the shit that happened in Civil War was because of her.
She is a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Honestly, I felt like at the end of Age of Ultron, it should have been Scarlet Witch who destroyed the floating island of Sokovia, because once her brother died,
to do it,
huh?
She's powerful enough to do it.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like that Scarlet Witch should have blown Sokovia up when her brother died. You know what I mean? Like, like that should have been the moment where like she just obliterated that whole island in the sky, instead of Thor and Iron Man. But you got to make it about Thor and Iron Man, like those were the 2 hot tickets in that movie, and Captain America had already had a ton of screen time. So
we're just also seeing a lot of acting range from these 2 now as well. We're talking about a guy playing who was just a voice, and now he's playing a robot, and now he's really having to show different sides of his character in Paul Bettany, and even Elizabeth Olsen, like from playing with a Russian accent and stuff like that. And now she's playing a fucking 50s housewife and a 60s housewife and all this bullshit. And it's very good. Hats off to her. She's brilliant. And I can't wait for the next episode. So we're done here, mate.
Yep.
So great. So we're going to be on tomorrow. Is that correct?
Sure.
Yeah, and we're going to be just
We're
basically
doing our weekend live
yeah.
chat.
I'm going to be talking about a couple of things. Obviously, what I got on my mind, I'm going to mention to you now, so I don't forget. I want to talk about that new trailer, Cherry, with Tom Holland.
Okay.
It was absolute shit. I also want to talk about some of the video games coming out now. EA no longer holds the right for LucasArts film video games. So now, like Bethesda is going to be doing Indiana Jones, and Ubisoft is going to be doing Star Wars, as well as other companies are probably going to be taking hold of Star Wars as well. Maybe we'll get a Willow game as well. Who knows? So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be really interesting. But when it comes to sword and sorcery games, there are a dime a dozen in video games if you think about it. So
Final
we're going to be
Fantasy
talking.
is king.
Yeah, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about WandaVision as well, and maybe we'll have some other people with us who may want to. Maybe if Ginger Greek joins us, maybe he'll want to give us his 2 pennies worth as well. So yep. So we'll see you guys tomorrow at some point during the day. It'll be probably late afternoon, evening, my time, afternoonish, maybe Roberto's time. Would that be correct?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, great. So until then, thank you very much. Have a nice day, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.